Hello all and welcome to Yashash Academy. Today let's learn how we are going to register with ICAI for the CA Foundation course. The entire process is quite simple and let me take you all through the entire process step by step. In case you get any queries, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, or if you're on the Telegram group, please tag me and I shall help you with the queries. Now, before we start the registration process, there are certain pre-requirements that we have. Let us have a look at what are those pre-requirements. If you all can see my screen, the documents that we'll be requiring before we start our registration process is a scanned copy of our 10th standard mark sheet. 12th mark sheet is not mandatory. So students, I know that if you have not yet received your results, even though the exams are over, in that case we can just continue with our 10th standard mark sheet. If you're a student who's currently just started 12th or second PU, whatever may be the case, in that case you can still continue to register yourself for the May examination with the same procedure. I will tell you the deadlines soon, but the first steps that we need is a scanned copy of a 10th standard mark sheet. Make sure that the file which you save the scan is in PDF, JPEG, PNG, only one of these formats, and the file size should be less than 1 MB. We have to make sure it is less than 1 MB, otherwise the website will not allow us to upload, it will reject the form. The next thing which we need is a scanned copy of our photograph, a passport size photograph. Please do not use selfies or any other pictures that we have saved on our phone. We should use a professional photograph, a regular passport size photograph. You have to just scan it. It should be, say again, either in JPEG or PNG format, but in this case the file size should be less than 100 KB, and also a scanned copy of your signature. So how do we scan our signature? Just sign on a plain sheet of paper and then take a picture of it. Just scan that part, crop that part out, and just use that, right? That is how you're going to be scanning your signature. These are the pre-requirements that we have. Now when we register with ICAI, the entire the fees that we're going to be paying is 9,200, right? So we will have to have our payment process ready with us. That is our debit card, net banking, UPI. Any of these payment methods is okay. It could also be a credit card. The only type of payment we should avoid is in case you have a student debit card, then those payments usually get rejected on the website. So make sure if you're using a debit card, it's not a student card. So try and use your parents' card, etc. Right? Now let's go forward and see how the registration process would work. So what is the first step, sir? The first step is we have to visit ICAI's website, which is icai.org, which you can see over here. Now that we are on the website, you will find this option called e-services. Over here, there's an option called student services. We're going to click on that. Once we are here, you will find one option called self-service portal over here, if you can see, right? We're going to click on self-service portal. Once we are here, new foundation and intermediate or direct entry form. So most of us are obviously new CA foundation students. So we're going to click on new foundation and intermediate direct entry form over here. Once we have clicked over here, we're going to find this page. Now it's asking for a user ID and password. Now, since we are students who are registering to the course for the first time, we will not have this user ID and password. So we are going to click over here. Read this carefully. New students who want to register for the CA for the CA course for the first time, click here. So we're going to click here. Once we have clicked here, this is a very important form which we have to fill. Through this form itself, our next part of registration shall continue. So what are the details which you're supposed to fill here? You're supposed to fill our salutation, which is either Mr. or Miss, right? Most of you students would have this as your options. However, in case you're an older student, then you can obviously go for Mr. or Mrs. in case you're married, and then on. So in this case, I'll just take, for example, Mr. Fill in your name. Guys, please read the note over here very carefully. Your salutation, name, date of birth, gender, and which should be as per your 10th marks card only. Ignore the 12th part. It should make sure it matches with your 10th marks card, because no change is going to be allowed after submission. So please be careful while filling this form over here, because whatever you fill here will get continued in the further form as well. Else you will have to restart the form and make a new application. It's more complicated. Make sure that the mobile number and email ID which you use is yours or your parents to which you have access to, because an OTP will get generated and you will need this OTP immediately to use. Always better to use your own contact numbers over here, right? In case you're an international student, then obviously you'll get only in email and not via SMS. Fill in your details, fill your first name, middle name, and last name. All are mandatory. Fill it properly, fill in the gender option. Your date of birth, you'll have to select over here. So click on the center option. First, select the year. in which you were born. I'm assuming most of the students filling right now will be between 2003, 2004. Just select that, select the month, select the date, and that is how the date has to be selected. Put in your email address, confirm your email address, select your mobile number. So first the country will obviously be India. Put in your contact number. Over here, just type +91 because automatically drop down is not going to come, and then fill in the contact number again. Choose the country again. Nationality Indian is already chosen. Once verify this content is correct or not, and only then click on generate OTP. I am not clicking this because I have already done this process. Once you generate the OTP, it is going to give you a verification code also. Fill in the verification code, post which you will get an OTP on the mobile number and the email ID given over here. Once you have done this, enter that OTP which you have received and your verification will be completed. 5 to 10 minutes after this process, you will automatically get an email to this registered email ID which will have your login details. What login details are? So as you can see over here, this user ID and password is what you would have got. So we will enter now, come back to this step, put that user ID and password and then click on login. Once we have clicked on login, what is going to appear? Well, this form is going to appear. I have already filled this for a student. So therefore, to save time, I am going to show you what are the details which is going to appear to you. In case before this page, if you get another page, there'll be an option called CA Foundation. Click on that and then continue with your this application form, right? So in case you get a form, sometimes when we continue with the same process, you will get one of the options. Click on student cycle. After clicking on student cycle, click on CA Foundation. Once you click on that, you are going to get this same page. Now this form is split into three parts. The first part is your personal details, the second part is your qualification details, and the last part is your payment details. While we are filling this is where the three pre-requirements which I had mentioned, that is your 10th marks card, your 12th, your photograph and your sign. All of these three scan copies are going to be required to fill this. Now let us have a look at what are the requirements which we have to fill over here. We have to fill in a salutation. Most of this, by the way, students, is half of this form is going to be pre-filled because we already filled this in the previous form. So wait for 2 seconds once this form loads, or half the details will automatically get loaded, but other details will not be filled, such as your father's name. Father's name is mandatory. Either father or mother's name is mandatory. Even though there is no star mark over here, you have to fill one of these details. So fill that. Your contact number and email will already be filled. You will have to choose your marital status. So most of you, I'm guessing, are unmarried still. So yes, choose unmarried. Fill in your date of birth. Are you differently abled? It will automatically be no. In case it is applicable to you, then you have to fill yes. Are you a staff ward? Over here, we are going to say no. Now, who is a staff ward? A staff ward is nothing but a student whose parent is already associated with ICAI. By ICAI, I mean they are working in the committees, not a qualified chartered accountant, but are working in the committees. So if you are a staff ward, you'll probably know you're a staff ward. Otherwise, click no, right? Once we do that, we have to fill in our correspondence address. Fill in these details and it is going to ask whether the correspondence address and the permanent address are same or not. Now, what is the difference, sir? Now, the difference is that your permanent address could be, let's say, somewhere in, in a smaller town. Let's say you're, in this case, the student is from Kolar. But for example, they have shifted down to Bangalore and are doing their studies in Bangalore for their graduation and their CA education. For that case, your correspondence address is the address where all the couriers, mails, books delivery by ICAI are going to come to the correspondence address, whereas your permanent address, which is in Kolar or wherever you're residing, in this case the student's case is Kolar, you can put in that. So in case you choose no, then you will have to fill both these addresses as separate, but in this case it is same for the students who have clicked yes. Once you fill this form and then click yes, this details get automatically filled, the permanent address part entirely. In next category that we have to fill is, we have to choose our category, whether in case we are from other category. Most of us will obviously be from general category, but in case you have a category certificate that you belong to a scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, or any other OBC, or that matter, any of the caste is applicable to you. If you do not fall under the general category, then you can choose that. But however, if you choose that, you will have to produce the certificate for that category. So I'm going to be choosing general over here, nationality as Indian, country name of nationality is India, annual income of parents is not necessary. Once we have filled this, just make sure everything is fine and then say save and next. It says data saved successfully. So now the next step is to upload your 10 standard marks card. So over here, we're going to put in our roll number, which is there on our 10 standard marks card. Choose the board. So in this case, the student is from CBSE board. So I have chosen CBSE. Then choose the month and year of examination. So I'm putting it as March 2019 was applicable. Result is passed. You have to be passed, so automatically it's selected passed. Now we have to fill in our marks obtained. In this case, the student scored 447, so I'm putting 447. The maximum marks were 500, so I'm putting in 500. The percentage will automatically be calculated. Another query a lot of students get is in case they are from ICSE or CPSE, where if there is a CGPA alerted to you, you can put in your CGPA over here. There's an option. However, you have to still fill the marks obtained. So in case you have got only grades, in that case, just put in an estimate. If you do not know your exact marks, and if you know there were 5 papers, so make it into 5 into 100, 500 as total marks. And let's say you got an A plus or A, or 9 or 9.1. So in that case, do 500 into 90%. In that case, you will get 450, and then just fill that 450 as your answer. I hope you have understood. Then we're going to click here to upload the marks card. Over here, I've already done it. How you're going to upload it is that since you have already saved these documents on your system, go wherever it is saved, choose that file. In this case, it's saved in the PDF format and it's lesser than 1 MB, as you can see. Just drag and drop over here. I have already done this, so it is already uploaded. In this case, as you can see, once it is uploaded, click on close. Scroll down. You don't have to fill in any other registration over here. It's going to say, is it provisional registration? It's going to come as Y, because you have not filled in your 12th standard marks card. Once you fill in your 12th details, that's when it is going to come in as non-provisional. But not to worry, we can make this non-provisional after we have received our 12th standard marks card. We'll just have to come into the same login portal and update the details. How to do that, I'll do it in another video. It's not applicable right now, so we're just going to scroll down. Now you're going to get another important option, which is called medium of study. In our case, it is obviously going to be English, but in case you're a student who wants your study material and to learn the subject entirely in Hindi, then that option is available. In this case, we have chosen English. Now click on save and next. This is our last step. Very simple. It says upload the photo. So just click here and the same process. Upload the photograph, drag and drop. Upload your signature, drag and drop. As you can see, the students, I have saved it over here. I've already uploaded. Hence, I'm not uploading it. You have to just drag and drop. Make sure the file size is less than 100 KB each. In this case, once that is done, all of this is going to be pre-filled, and it's going to give you a disclaimer that this is your fees for registration, that is 9,200, which I had confirmed. Here is an additional option that we get, that we can apply for members journal. Members journal is nothing but, in case the ICAI members, you get notification and updates what are happening in the syllabus, not just syllabus but in practice. So if you're a student who's interested in continuously reading these, then you will get these journals usually in the form of e-journals by mail. So if you want to subscribe to this, then you can just tick over here and your fees will become 9,600. This journal is not mandatory, so if you do not want subscription to this, just uncheck this, and then once everything is all right, just click on generate OTP. It's going to give you this code, so I'm just going to fill in this code. Click on submit. Now an OTP would have come to the registered number. Once we fill in this OTP, we have to click on validate OTP. Once it's validated, we'll click on submit, and that's when it is going to take us to the payment gateway. Now obviously I am not putting in the details because the student is not here and they cannot finish the payment process. However, we'll have to just fill in the payment gateway. Now this will be just like any other page, how we do it on Amazon, etc. Fill in your card details, click on pay. Once the payment is completed, your registration shall be complete. You will get this entire form. You can download, you can log in back to this portal. Where will you log in? Again, over you can log in back to this portal and you can verify what you have submitted. And within 3 days of making the payment, you will usually get your registration number. So what will the registration number look like? Your registration number is going to be for South region students. So students who are from basically Bangalore or Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, etc. You're going to get a SRO, that is South Region Office. You're related to the South Region Office. So SRO, and then going to be a 7-digit followed by that. If you're a student from, let's say, the Central India, so you're going to get a CRO. If you're from Western India, then WRO, from Eastern India ERO, and if you're from North India NRO. So the first 3 digits are going to be like that, followed by a 7-digit unique code. This registration number will remain the same even when you go into CA intermediate as well as CA final. So you'll get used to it. Once you start filling your forms further from here, you'll probably start remembering what your own code is. But yes, 3 days after making this fees payment, you're going to get your registration number, and then we will use that registration number and password to log into the portal. When we will not log in from here, as we go to the website, we will probably just go to e-services, student services, self-service portal, and this time we are just going to go as self-service portal for existing members and students because we have already registered as a student. That will happen once we have received our details. I hope this video was helpful and you have understood the process. If you find any queries, feel free to put it in the comments or put it on Telegram if you're on the group where I am on. One more query which students usually have: sir, once we have made this payment, will this include our books which we receive from ICAI? Yes, this does include your books, so you don't have to pay for the books separately. And when can we order the books? We can order the books about 5 to 7 days after we have received our registration number from ICAI, and you have something called a CDS portal. We have to log into the CDS portal with these details and place the order for the books. You will not have to pay for the books separately. Now, how to order the books, this is going to be a separate video, so I will guide you all separately for the same. I hope this video was helpful. Leave a like if you have liked it. Thank you all and all the very best. Bye bye.